Welcome to the Connors and Ferris High School Sports Show. I'm Jeff DiVeronica. He's Steve Bradley, and we have a terrific interview here, Steve. Section 5 boys basketball. Obviously, the season is underway, and one of the top teams in Class AA, in any class really, is going to be the Aquinas Lil Irish. In just a second, we're going to welcome on their coach and one of their players. Great opening tournament over at Aquinas last weekend, the Mike Dianetti Tip-Off Classic.
Right, and Aquinas actually finished second in the tournament, but great game against Edison Tech at the end, 72-69. But as we like to remind people, we're not just about wins and losses. We're about good stories. And Aquinas has a really good story around their team this year with a first year at least for the Lil Irish coach, Jeff LaFave. Let's bring on Coach Jeff LaFave on our Specialties Skype hotline. You see it right there. A great company down in Geneseo, specialties1.com. Check out their gear, and you can make it your own by giving them a great order. So, Coach Jeff LaFave, you see him there at the bottom of your screen, and up top, it's Owen O'cary, a senior player who hit a huge three-pointer the other night, and we're going to talk to him about that. But first, Coach LaFave, let's welcome you out of the program. Well, you know, Steve and I talked about this. A Section 5 championship at Gates Charlotte last year in your second season there, and now you're at a different school. Not many AGR coaches move to a new job, but congrats on the big win last year. I know we talked to you last year. Jeff called it on the air, if we remember correctly.
What's that? Oh, you guys are going to win. Yeah.
You did. You got to mark your wins down, buddy.
But first of all, welcome to back to the show. And I guess let's just start out talking about the move to Aquinas. Why did you move? Folks would say you maybe had a good team coming back against Charlotte. Why move?
Well, you know, one of my good friends, one of my mentors, Coach Nash from School of the Arts. You know, he's a very spiritual man. He's a God-fearing man. So am I. And you know, we'd have conversations, and we'd always talk about family and what's do best for our family, and you know, ultimately what's best for you. And you know, the opportunity to go to Aquinas and to be able to openly pray with my players and to be able to talk about Scripture and spread the Word of God was something that I was kind of called to do. I've always said, you know, God's going to put me where He wants me to be when He wants me to be there. And in my heart, this is where I feel like I need to be, and that's why I made the switch. And you know, I just want to say something. I've never really had a chance to say this publicly, so I kind of want to make sure I make this point very clear. I will always cherish my time with the Gates Charlotte community. Dr. Patrick Irving, the director there, was gracious enough to give me a chance. I wouldn't be at Aquinas right now if he wouldn't have given me. They're a top-notch school. They run a great program, and he's a fantastic athletic director. And you know, I have nothing but great things for them, the school, the community, and the staff over there.
Wow, that's fantastic, Jeff. And I know when that move happened, there was a lot of talk. People talk probably when they don't know things. And thank you so much for being that open and talking about that. How has the transition been for you?
Seamless. You know, it's really odd, and we're a pretty transparent group of guys over here at Aquinas. We're very strong in our faith, and you ask us a question, we'll give you an honest answer. And the transition's been amazing, and I think in large part is because I've been able to get the attention of the players right away. We basically walked in from day one. I brought somebody with me, one of my coaches that I had with me over at Gates, and we just basically said, hey, the way things have been going here haven't been working, and we have a pretty good blueprint on how we think things could work around here. We just need to start, building some trust amongst us. If we do that, some good things are going to happen. It's not going to be easy. There's a lot of good teams out there. There's a ton of phenomenal coaches in Section 5 and players, but if we put our best foot forward, we're going to be okay. And I think the kids have bought in, and I think we're on our way to, doing something special.
We'll break down your roster a little bit more later on in the interview. Obviously, it doesn't hurt that you're walking into the gym with a Section 5 championship in your back pocket from going into Victor's gym and beating them in overtime. What a great win for Gates it was last year. But now let's talk a little about the young man at the top of our screen here, Owen O'cary. He's a senior. Tell us a little about this young man, and then we're going to talk to him about his big moments the other night. And maybe Owen will talk about your role on the team. But Coach, tell us a little about him first.
So, I'm not a big cliche guy, but unfortunately, I'm gonna dig into my bag right now. If I had 10 Owens on my team, I'd probably win a championship every single year, because this kid is literally the heart and soul of our team. He shows up. He's the first guy there. He misses no workouts at all, never complains. And, you know, we're very transparent over at Aquinas. Our depth chart is posted. If you're number one, you're number one. If you're number 13 or 14, you're number 13 or 14. Everybody knows where they're ranked on the team. That's a big, important piece of it. And, you know, Owen knows he's pretty low on the depth chart, but it's never deterred him from being positive, from pushing his teammates at practice, from always trying his best, and for essentially being the example of what a good teammate's supposed to be.
So Owen's a role player, clearly. Owen, have you been on the team the last couple of years, or this is your first year where you're actually with the varsity?
This is my second year on varsity. Last year they made me the team manager of the team, but I never really got to actually play in any games or really experience the in-depth of practices or anything like that until this year.
And I heard last Friday night against Global Concepts, it was a big win, 93-31, but I heard they were chanting your name, Owen. What's it feel like? I've never had anybody chant my name. What's it feel like to have a crowd, your classmates, chanting your name to go into the game?
It basically was it really touched my heart. It was a very special moment for me, only being at Aquinas for 2 years. It really touched my heart and basically showed how much of an impact I've made on everyone, and I've made on everyone in the whole school, and how much they care for me to succeed, and how much they wanted me to play that night.
Owen, what's it like to hear Coach LaFave say the nice things he said about you as a guy who's kind of new to the team and stepping into a new role this season?
I basically mean it's nothing I haven't heard from before, but coming from a Section 5 varsity champion coach, it means a little bit more to me than it did in usual due to the competition and everything that everyone has to work through to even make a roster spot. And the fact that he says those things, it touches my heart more than it has done in the past.
So, Coach, let's go back to Friday night. It's your season opener, and you're winning pretty big, and the crowd starts getting a little rowdy. Take us through what happened next, Coach.
Well, they started chanting for Owen in the third quarter, and I looked at my coaches, and I said, they're not loud enough yet. I said, we're not going to give them what they want until they give us what we want, and we want them to be really loud, really proud, very positive. And literally, I thought the roof was going to come off in the fourth quarter, and I couldn't wait any longer. I'm like, I got to put them in. Like, got to go in now. So the student section, they're the ones who determined when he was going.
So Owen gets in, and Owen, take us through what happened next. Was it the first time you touched the ball? What happened?
No. So what happened was I get in and I end up getting fouled on my first three that I take, and I end up knocking down the third free throw, and that got the student section in the gym going crazy, and especially the bench. And then a few plays later, I think it's like 3 minutes or like 2:30 left in the fourth, and we're passing the ball around. Chris passes it out to Sav. Sav throws it back to me. I'm wide open, and I shoot, and I bank in and off the backboard. The whole Jimmy Ruff's going crazy. The bench, the coach's reaction is crazy. Will, Kellis, Rob, Miles, Jack, the whole bench is going crazy, jumping up and down. Will, which I'm pretty sure. So, and now that most of the team almost fell out of their chairs after I hit that shot. And then at the end of the game, I ended up dancing in front of the student section, and it just got everyone really hyped, and the whole team was hyped for it. And yeah, it was just a very big moment for me.
Owen, where'd you get your dance moves from?
I mean, it's got to be a shout out to my big brother, to CJ. I mean, he basically was the main dancer at Aquinas before I came, and he basically really taught me the moves. He basically taught me one day, and I just kind of implemented my own and just added on from the moves that he gave me.
Well, Coach, let's get your angle of what happened. But so it was a free throw and then a 3-pointer that he banked in, which I don't think you told me was a bank shot. It's even tougher. How's that feel when you're watching this unfold in front of your eyes, Coach?
Well, I mean, obviously we're happy because when guys work hard, it's great to see hard work get rewarded, and no one works harder than Owen. He's always a good example. I mean, listen, one of the reasons we will have success this year is because every single guy on the team generally cares about the other person. And it starts from the top all the way down to the bottom and right back up again. And that's what you saw in the gym. And for me as a coach, to be at a school like that, at Aquinas, it just shows us that we're doing the right stuff over there on Dewey Avenue.
We'll take a quick break, come back. We'll talk a little more about the roster of this Aquinas squad, and then get your outlook on maybe Class AA and see. We know we'll talk about who's next on your schedule, too. You're watching the Connors and Ferris High School Sports Show on Rock Sports Now.
I'm a biomedical sciences major. My goal is to one day open up my own pediatric office. I want to create an environment almost similar to the environment that Roberts creates for me. I want them to walk into the doctor's office and feel love. When I got here, I was just like, yeah, this is home. This is where I need to be. Be prepared for an adventure, be prepared for a journey, and enjoy the journey.
Have you recently bought a home, or have you been in your home for 5 years or more? Have you looked at your ductwork?
If not properly cleaned, air ducts can become contaminated with dust, pollen, or even mold. This can impact the air that you're breathing.
Check us out online and schedule your appointment today.
Why do you exercise? To look better? To feel better? To drop a few pounds? To train for an event? To defy age? Or to keep your ability to say yes to the things you love to do? Whatever motivates you, G&G Fitness Equipment is here to get you there. Treadmills, ellipticals, rowers, bikes, home gyms, and accessories. We'll pair you with the right equipment, teach you how to use it, and be there every step of your fitness journey. G&G Fitness. Your goal is our goal.
Sweet baby, oh baby,
There's a path to success full of challenges, rewards, inspiration, and strength. A strength that only the U.S. Army Reserve can give you. The skills and experiences you'll get will give you an advantage in your civilian life. Stay close to home, train to develop your strengths, and get on a path to success. Find out more at goarmy.com/reserve.
For more information, contact Syracuse Army Recruiting Center, 315-449-2830. There's strong. Then there's Army Strong, paid for by the U.S. Army.
Welcome back to the Connors and Ferris High School Sports Show. On our specialties hotline, Aquinas boys basketball coach Jeff LaFave and Owen O'cary, a senior who got into his first ball game last Friday night in the season opener and hit a free throw and then blew the roof off the place by banking in a 3-point shot, had the bench going nuts, the crowd going nuts. And I guess, Owen, when Coach tapped you on the shoulder to go in, what goes through your body in a moment like that?
Great question.
Well, before Coach told me to go in, I basically heard the student section chanting my name like 2 minutes to go in the third, and I remember Coach looked at me, then he looked at Coach Sada, and said that they're not loud enough yet. And then I remember Coach says at the end of the bench, and he goes, Coach, just put me in. And then Coach goes, not yet, they're not loud enough yet. And then when they get louder, once I heard him get louder, I basically knew I was going to go in, and I was just waiting for when he came over to tell me that I was going in.
Oh, and are you normally a good three-point shooter?
Yes.
Like, how many do you shoot a day? I mean, you're comfortable, on release. How did you get to be good?
Just practice and basically just being in the gym for like 7.5 to 8 months so far since the beginning of July, and I've improved. The whole team has improved, and it's just really come from practice.
Well, the Lil Irish are 2-1. Like I said, they won their first game in the Dianetti Classic, and then they lost to a good Edison team. Coach, you get some impressions of Edison and Mike Morgan. They had great balance that night against you guys. 72-69 ball game. How good is Edison?
I think they're pretty good. I think Coach Simmons does a good job. He always has. When he was over at leadership. Make no mistake about it. They were the better team that night. There were some things that we did not do. We did not execute. We learned a lot, and we are going to be a lot better for it moving forward. We learn a lot more in a loss than we do when we win. So this was a lesson I think that we needed to learn. We've been kind of grinding for the last 7.5 months with all of our workouts and open gyms and summer league and fall league. And, it was nice to be humbled because I think it's going to help us moving forward.
Jeff, you're also a lieutenant in the Rochester Police Department. And how important is it for you just to have a positive impact in the life of young people, not just through your work in your full-time job, and also through your it seems like coaching may be almost like a form of ministry for you.
Well, I wish I was still a lieutenant. I got promoted to commander on November 1st.
Oh, I beg your pardon.
Yeah.
That's my fault. It's my fault.
No, but here's the thing, right? We are going through a difficult time in law enforcement. We have unprecedented levels of violence that we haven't seen. And I can't even tell you in my 20 years on the job. And anything that we can do to bridge the gap in the community and to basically, have a positive impact and change some minds about the perception of what police are. I've been doing this for 17 years. It's not something I woke up yesterday and said, you know what, I want to have a positive impact in the community and show that cops are open. I became a cop because that was my mindset. And, the majority, the people that I work with have the same mindset. And I'm hoping that we're turning the corner in society right now, and people are going to be able to see that I'm not the minority, that I'm just like everybody else that wears that uniform and just wants to do good by their community.
Let's go back to the roster real quick before we wrap here. You had like 5 or 6 guys back from last year's team, and you've had good balance so far. Robert McCullough, like I said, Will Scalen had 14. Tell us about the makeup of this team. Jack Blyer had 10, Miles Blackwood 11. What are the strengths of this group, and who do you expect to be the leaders offensively and defensively, Coach?
Well, if I have my way, I'm going to have 5 guys in double figures this year, 4 to 5 guys average double figures, and I think it's really possible with all the people you've already named. I mean, Miles Blackwood is under 100 points away from 1,000. His brother Mason is insanely gifted and talented, and I think we're going to see him explode this year. Jack Blyer, solid, hard worker, distributes the basketball well, plays good defense, gets up and down the floor. Will Scanlon can knock it down from Connecticut. I mean, we've got guys that can play. Michael White is a quarterback on the football team, which I'll tell you, that was probably the best thing because he has grown so as an athlete. His decision-making on the floor, he's a pass first. We're going to be in good shape. And, there's a couple other guys that people don't really talk about that they should be talking about. And that's Jordan, who's like 6'4" and can literally jump to the moon. And you got Chris Laseth, who's a sophomore, who just literally dunked on a guy last night out in Park. So we've got some guys that once we get them going in the right direction, it's going to be a lot of fun. And I'm excited because there's some really good teams in AA. And you know something, it ain't going to be easy because there's some solid teams out there doing good work right now.
Did you say Jordan?
Yeah, it's affirmative.
His name is Jordan.
He's on the all-name team already.
I was right about that kid.
Jeff, you've mentioned the word transparency a couple of times, and I'm sure a part of that is explaining roles to each player. You post the depth chart. In this day and age where there's a lot of instant gratification out there, where that's what people want, how important is it not only for people to understand, but to accept their roles in terms of team success?
Great question.
Well, somewhere along the way, we stopped telling the truth to kids. We started sugarcoating things, and we basically said everybody's. Let me just point this out. All right, we treat everybody the same, but not everybody's the same. All right, so we try to be very upfront and honest with our kids, so they're not surprised, and we're not ambushing them by building them up to something that is an unlofty expectation. But at the same time, we're giving them the tools that they need to get better if they want to get better, and if they want to work harder, we're going to help them get better. And if we're doing our jobs, we're making them better because the effort that we're putting in with them. And I just think that you need to be honest and up front. It's a constant evaluation and reevaluation. Like we have individual evaluations at various points through the year where we sit down with each player and we let them know what their strengths are, what their weaknesses are, and what they need to work on. Because if we don't give them that kind of guidance, how do we expect them to perform the way that we want them to perform?
Honest
Bravo.
feedback. Wow.
Bravo. I would say amen to that, but you probably think I was making a joke, and I'm not. Honestly, what you just said is, I completely agree. I don't know where it all started. I don't know what, I joke about this, and my daughter's 8 years old, so she goes to birthday parties now for other kids, and every kid gets a gift bag. And I'm like, why? Why is when I was a kid and I went to my friend's birthday party, you know what I did when he opened his gifts? I'd be like, man, I can't wait till it's my birthday party, right? Patience. It's when you accept your role. My role right now is not the birthday boy. But now everybody gets a gift bag. And now everybody gets a trophy. And I don't like it. I want my kid to have patience and understand that today is not my day. And I completely agree with what you said, Coach. I really appreciate the time and you going deep and being real honest with us. Boy, I know we don't have a giant audience, but I sure hope people watch this one, Steve Bradley, because what you just said, I wish every coach and every parent could see this. And we're going to post this clip, and I hope it goes viral.
And Owen, too, thank you, sir. Congratulations on your hard work, and hopefully you'll have more big moments throughout the season.
Thanks, Owen. I guess this means my kid's not going to get invited to many birthday parties now, huh?
Thanks for having us on. Thank you very much. God bless you both. God bless the show. Have a very happy holiday.
Aquinas boys basketball, folks. That was fun, Steve, and that was raw and
honest.
Yeah, I really like that one. So, hey, thanks for watching us right here on Rock Sports Now. We're going to come at you 3 times a week now. Throughout the week, look for us on social media, pushing out our show, and make sure you catch up with us on the Rock Sports Now YouTube channel. For Steve Bradley and our producer, Joe Brad, my name's Jeff DiVeronica. Until next time, thanks for watching.